At the beginning of the stone crab season, we put out a video where we detailed every single step that you need to take to get started on recreational stone crabbing, but we never posted a video of actually build the actual trap. Today, we actually have to build 2 replacement traps, and we're gonna show you step by step how to build a stone crab trap like a commercial stone crab fisherman. When you purchase your stone crab traps, they're gonna come in a kit of 5 traps. Within the kit of 5 traps, each individual trap is gonna contain the 4 sides, the lid, the funnel, the hinges for the lid, the latches to close the lid, and the bag of stainless steel screws to put them all together. So the very first thing that you wanna do is get yourself a piece of untreated pine and cut it, and that's gonna go right here, and this is called the chew out wood. The purpose of the chew out wood is to ensure that if you lose your trap, the crabs that are trapped inside will be able to chew their way out through this wood and escape. Now, this chew out wood is a federal requirement by FWC, and the driving force behind that is to drive sustainability. So you can put the chew out wood at the end when you build the trap, but what we found is that if the trap is already built, it can be a little difficult to put in the chew out wood because you're trying to drill on the inside of the trap. So what we like to do is take the first side for the chew out wood, and we'd like to place the chew out wood down first, and we're gonna go ahead and get that screwed in before we start building the trap. So we're gonna go ahead and screw in that wood. And now we've got the chew out wood screwed in, and we're gonna go ahead and put in the sides of the trap. Now when you get the trap is gonna have grooves that you slide it into, and what you wanna do is go ahead and take those grooves, line them up, and slide it all the way down. The trap also comes with, there is a top and a bottom, right? So the bottom is gonna have this little lip right here, and you see some grooves in here, and those are gonna be to hold the cement. So when you slide it in, you wanna ensure that those are towards the bottom. If you mess up, don't worry, you could just take the trap apart, slide it back out, and just flip the piece over. It happens to everybody. It's happened to us before. You just slide it out, flip it over, and then slide it back in. Now you've got all 4 sides of the trap put together. Now the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put the lid on the trap and the hinges. So the lid comes with these little cutout grooves here where you're gonna put the hinges. Doesn't matter which way you face it. For us, we like to face it a certain way. We pull the traps off the starboard side of the boat. So we want the trap to come up. We wanna open it this way so that when the trap's on the boat, we don't have to flip every single trap. Now these hinges come with 2 screw holes on one side, and then the other side just has a hole where the screw is going to come out of. And what you want to do, my son came up with this idea. These are pretty tight, and the beginning people try to take like a finger or something and try to pry it open. My son came up with this idea of building traps where you just slide it right in. When you're building a lot of these like we have to build, it goes very quickly. So he came up with this idea. He'll be happy to know that I'm sharing it with all of you when he watches this video. So now we've got the hinges on, and we've got to go ahead and screw them in place. So you want to take your bag of screws, and I would tell you guys when you're building this, put these screws in a safe place because they're exact. They don't give you extras when you're building this. Now these are not pre-drilled. You could pre-drill them if you'd like. Just go ahead and screw them in like that. We're going to go ahead and put all 4 of them in. And now you've got the hinges on the trap, and you can see here how the lid opens and closes. The next thing that we're going to install is the funnel for the trap. It drops right into the top, and we're going to install the latches that close the lid. So we're going to go ahead and grab the funnel. We're going to drop it in right on the top, and the funnel fits perfectly. Has a little cutout groove on the top where it just goes right in. Now when you go to do this, the holes, I haven't built a trap yet where all the holes line up, but don't worry about it. Usually 1 or 2 will line up. It's not exact, but you'll be able to screw it right in. Remember, this trap is plastic, so the screws will go right in. Don't get worried if it's not perfectly lining up on the hole, because like I said, we've never built one where it perfectly lines up. On this one, we have this first one lines up, and then the other ones are close. We're gonna go ahead and get all 4 of these screws. And now, when you put the 4 screws in, you can see that you've got the funnel perfectly secured into the trap. Now, the next thing that you need to use are your lid latches. And what these lid latches are gonna do, they're gonna just slide over, and you'll be able to lock the lid. When you close it, you slide them and keep the lid shut on the trap. These are also not pre-drilled. You can pre-drill them if you'd like. I mean, we never have pre-drilled it. Once you get the screw going, it's kind of easy to get it in there. Now we're going to go ahead and secure the second screw. And now you've got your lid on the trap, you've got your hinges on the trap, you've got your latches to open and close the lid, and the trap will open. Now, when you tighten these screws for the latches, we like to have them pretty tight because if they are loose, this trap can open underwater and these could slide over current, or you're pulling the trap up. Last thing you want is to have this trap with crab and these lid latches are really loose that they could spin around and you're pulling the trap up and all the crab comes out. The next thing that we're going to install in the trap is the bait cup. Now, you don't need to have the bait cup. It's an option that you could choose, but we like to install the bait cups in our traps, because what we do is we put cowhide inside of the bait cup and then we drop pig's feet in the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and open it, and you could put the bait cup wherever you desire. Like I said earlier, we have a certain way. When this trap comes up on the starboard side, we want to put it on the boat. We open the lid so it's facing out to the ocean. And now we're working on the trap on the inside, and we always put the bait cup on the back side of the trap. The back side of the trap and the front side also have already pre-drilled holes that we use to go ahead and screw in the bait cup. So for the bait cup, you are going to want to pre-drill the bait cup, and I will tell you, there's a lot of folks that just use a regular stainless steel screw, but what we found with that is there's food in here. The bait cups are going to be in the traps, and the crabs obviously know that there's food. They could smell it. You're going to have a lot of crabs that are going to flip the bait cup trying to get the food out, and they're yanking on it and pulling it. When you use a regular screw, they will strip that screw out of the plastic. So what we do on all of our traps is we use a bolt. We put a washer on the outside, slide the bolt through the trap, and then on the inside, we put another washer with a lock nut on the back of it so that you could turn the bait cup and the bait cup will not fall out. They won't be able to strip that out of the trap. So we're gonna go ahead and hold it up here to the top of the trap. And so I'll tell you guys before I start drilling is you can really mount the bait cup anywhere you want. We told you at the beginning, we're gonna explain it like a commercial fisherman. If you put the bait cup low to the bottom, they're gonna have a field day inside of your trap, taking all your bait out of it. If you mount the bait cup high to the top, when you close the lid, it makes it a lot harder for fish and anything that's going inside of your trap to take the bait out of it, because the lid acts like the lid of the trap acts like a lid to the bait cup. So we like to mount them high in the trap to preserve the bait that's in there, because you're gonna get a lot of stuff in the trap trying to eat your bait. Gotta plug it in. All right, guys, we're back. Side note, when you're gonna use your power tools, plug in your extension cord into the wall. We're gonna go ahead and pre-drill this, and we're gonna go ahead and get our bolt that I was talking about. And our bolt, like I said earlier, has we put a washer on the outside of the trap, and we're gonna put another washer towards the inside of the trap, you can see right here, and we're going to put the lock nut on the inside behind that washer. And you want to use a lock nut to make sure that this thing doesn't fall out, because when you're on land, guys, you'll be able to do this with tools, but when you're out in the ocean, you don't have a lot of tools at your disposal. So we got that screwed in. We're going to go ahead and put the washer. We're going to slide the lock nut over it, get our little wrench. Now we've got that screwed in, and like I was telling you before, so we put cowhide in the bait cup, and then the reason why you just want to put one screw in it is so that you could go ahead and twist the bait cup like that. You're going to be able to dump your bait out of it. Sometimes you're going to get crabs that are going to go in there. They're going to go inside that bait cup. They are living in a little room within the trap full of food, so they're content in there. You definitely don't want to stick your hand in there to grab them out. You want to twist it like that. Everything's going to fall to the bottom. Then you can twist the bait cup back up and put some new bait in there. The next thing that we're going to install is the escape ring in the trap. And so the escape ring, the driving force behind this is also sustainability. And so similar to the chew-out wood, it gives a spot for the crabs to get out. Now, legal sized crabs cannot fit through this hole, but what this does is it allows the little baby crabs to be able to, that go into your trap, to be able to exit the trap without being trapped inside it. The escape ring can go on any one of the vertical 4 walls per FWC guidelines. We like to put our escape rings on the front of the trap. And by the front of the trap, we mean the side that the rope is on, right? So when we're pulling it, that's the side that's coming towards the boat, because we feel that this being in the front allows for smaller pieces that are left over of bait not to fall out of the back of the trap when we're pulling it up. So again, for us, like we said at the beginning, we're pulling off the starboard side, the trap comes on the boat, we're gonna open it like this, and so the front of the trap is gonna be on this side where we placed the chew out wood at the beginning. So all you need to do is get yourself a jigsaw, and you're gonna go ahead and cut the front of the trap to create the hole for the escape ring. Now we have this high-tech fancy piece of cardboard that we measured, and basically guys, all we're doing is putting it up against the inside of the trap here so that we know exactly where we have to cut with the jigsaw. Now we've cut the inside piece, now we're going to cut the other side. Now you've got the little piece of plastic that you cut out of the trap, and you're ready to go ahead and put in your escape ring on the trap. When putting on the escape ring, we also highly recommend that you do it like this. A lot of people use a regular screw, same thing as the bait cup. I've seen this happen to friends of mine. They use the regular screws, it comes out great, looks great here. The crabs can rip that off. If they could strip the bait cup out of it, they could strip it out of the trap, and they'll pull the escape ring out of the trap to get out. You gotta know a stone crab crusher claw, an adult big claw, can exert 19,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. So just imagine what it could do to a regular screw. So same as a bait cup, we use the same bolt with a washer on the outside, washer on the inside, and a lock nut to hold this thing in place. We have a lot of commercial traps, so we put 3 screws in it, 3 bolts into it, and that has worked perfectly fine for us. We put 1 on each side, 1 on the top, and we've never had a problem with it coming off. You can obviously put as many screws as you would like. This thing comes with like 10 holes. You don't need that many. The stainless steel bolts get a little pricey, but if you want to put 3 works perfectly fine. So we're going to go ahead and line this up, and we're going to go ahead and drill it the same as we did the other one, and go ahead and get these bolts in. So what I like to do, guys, is do 1 screw, do the first one to kind of hold it in place, because if you drill all 3 of them and you're doing this by yourself, it can become quite difficult to be able to get the bolts to line up to the holes that you've made inside the trap. So if you've got somebody else helping you, it's a little bit easier. If you're doing it by yourself, I would tell you go ahead and do it 1 at a time, and it keeps it in place. Now we're going to go ahead and get the other 2 screws in, or bolts I should say. Now we're going to go ahead and flip this trap over, and we're going to go ahead and get the washers on the other side and the lock nuts into it. All right, we're going to go ahead and get these screwed in. And I will tell you guys, stainless steel bolts do break, so it could happen. We break a lot of them. When we installed all of these escape rings on our traps, it does happen, so don't get nervous. If it breaks, they get very hot and they'll break off, but there you go. Now you've got your escape ring on, you've got your lid, your trap is ready to go. There's 1 additional step that we like to do, and that is we like to put a bottom on the trap. And so what we do is we buy it at Home Depot. You get the wood, the fence wood, works great. And the reason why we like to put the bottom is we like to keep the cement perfectly straight on the bottom, and we also find that it really helps the boat not get scratched up, because the wood is obviously a lot softer than the cement. So we're going to go ahead and do that. The other thing that we like to do is we've got these long screws here, and we're going to go ahead and screw these into the bottom of the trap, and the traps come with a hole in the middle of each side, and we'll put 1 in there. And what these do is that they're going to go all the way through the trap, and it'll help hold the cement in place there. So we're going to go ahead and screw these in now. There's 1 on each side, like I said, and these are going to go all the way through the trap, and it's going to really help to hold the cement in place. Now if you decide to not put a wooden bottom on the trap, which is perfectly fine, we've got a lot of traps that we've bought from other fishermen when we bought tags that don't have the wood on the bottom. We like to do it on ours. I would still highly recommend that you put these screws in at the bottom because you want to be able to hold that cement in place. If you don't put anything on the bottom, this is just empty cement. And as you drop this trap in the water, if you keep hitting the trap directly against the water, like a belly flop, if you will, you could eventually crack the cement, especially in the middle, and it'll blow out inside of the trap. Now you've got all 4 of the screws in there to really help go in. You know, you got about 4 inches on each side to really hold that cement, help hold it in place. So now we're gonna go on and we're gonna show you how we like to do the trap bottom. So one of the things that we like to do, if you just put wood, the wood, if you get the fence wood, it's not gonna cover the whole bottom of the trap. But if you take a piece of cardboard, any cardboard, doesn't matter, you're gonna put it on the bottom of the trap. And this cardboard, it doesn't matter here, we got 2 pieces. This cardboard box we had didn't go all the way across. Once you screw the wood on top of this, the wood is going to hold the cardboard in place and it's going to prevent the cement from leaking out. And then don't worry about the cardboard. It's definitely going to rot in the water and it'll eventually just fall off, and the only thing that'll be left is cement. And that's okay, because the purpose of the cardboard is right now when we're going to pour the cement in, to keep it nice and level on the bottom and not let the cement pour out of the trap anywhere. So we're gonna go ahead and get started and show you. If you've got somebody helping you here, it becomes a little bit easier. So we're gonna go ahead and line up this wood. We're gonna go ahead and pre-drill this thing, and this is gonna go right into the bottom of the trap. The other thing that we like to do is, there's a tool for this. We don't have the tool, so we are just using another drill bit, but we're gonna make the hole a little bit bigger on the hole that we made, so that the head of the screw goes inside of the hole and the screw doesn't scratch up the bottom of our boat. Now we've got some regular screws right here. They are also stainless steel. You wanna make sure that everything that you use is stainless steel. These will not come with the trap because this is obviously an extra step that we are doing. So there you go, the trap bottom is complete. If you choose to add a wooden bottom, it will make your trap definitely stronger. It's gonna help the cement not break when you're using it over and over through the years. And you see here, we've made the holes a little bit bigger so the heads of the screw go in. We've got the cardboard in place so that the cement doesn't drip out. And if you take a look at it, now you've got a trap that is fully complete, meets all the federal regulations, and is ready for cement. So we're gonna go ahead, mix the cement, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna pour the cement in and show you how we do that. All right, guys, so now we got the cement mix. We're gonna go ahead and pour it in the traps. And you could use a 5-gallon bucket. This is heavy. I'm gonna come over to the other one. And I'll show you a little trick that my son came up with to go ahead and level the cement in the trap. He likes to go ahead and bang it. And you see how that cement gets nice and level. But if you take a look here on this trap, guys, you can see the edge right here, the lip that holds the cement in. It's covering all of that. And we're gonna come over here to our second trap. Bang it down, and you want to make sure you have these in a level spot, because if you don't have them in a level spot, obviously the cement is going to go to the side that has the gradient. But now you can see both of the traps are full right up to that little lip that holds in the cement. So guys, those are the steps that you need to take to go ahead and build your traps. If you want to check out what bait we use and all the steps that you need to take for recreational stone crab fishing, check out both of these videos and it'll get you on your journey to catching stone crab. Thank you for watching. Stay safe out there.